Hey y'all, it's time to get into the hairstyle of the summer. The girls could not stop booking the curly quick weave, flip over style. You couldn't stop seeing it all over your timeline, Instagram, TikTok. So I'm here to give you guys a tutorial on how to achieve that style, whether you're a stylist or want to do it yourself. So let's jump straight into it. I'm going to part my client's hair starting at the front of her ear. That's going to be my guide to determine how far back I'm going to part. I'm going to carry that part all the way to the opposite end to make sure both sides are looking symmetrical. Now this part shouldn't come back too far past the ear because the goal of this style is to have the least amount of leave out as possible. The least amount of leave out you have, the less you have to maintain it and put heat in your hair, which is the goal. After we have our desired amount of leave out, we're going to braid that away. I do this whether I'm doing a side part, middle part, whether they have full leave out around the entire perimeter. I always just braid it out the way so it's not interfering with anything else. Next, we're going to focus on hair care. I'm going to go ahead and oil the rest of my client's hair that's going to be braided up. I use Sequence Professional's Potion Oil, so it's a blend of different essential oils. So it has like argan oil, rosemary, avocado, different stuff like that. Please do not ever skip moisturizing your client's hair before you braid it because y'all know these weaves be itching. Now we're going to start working on her foundation. So I'm going to part a very small section next to the leave out. I do this section very small because it's right next to the leave out and I don't want it to be lumpy, bulky when I go to put the wefts on. Braiding your clients down do not require a bunch of effort, a lot of tension. We're not trying to braid our clients' brains now. You just want to make sure you have a nice grip on the hair and pick up the hair as you go. If the client does have a finer texture, you can spray a little bit of Got2b glue spray just to give you a better grip, or put some hair gel, not too much though, just something to help you grip. But my client's hair is pretty medium to coarse texture, so I didn't need anything extra. So as you can see, I went ahead and did the other side the same way. I just started this braid a little bit behind the other braid just because I didn't want to create too much tension with pulling in the opposite direction. So the rest of the braids are going to just go straight back from here, and I'm going to do the up and down technique where I just connect the previous braid to the braid that I'm currently braiding down. So I do know that every person that may come across this video trying to learn how to do this style may not be a very good braider, but that's okay. If you guys want another video on how to specifically do braids, how to connect them during the up and down technique, please let me know in the comment section and I'll work on that for you. After you've braided the entire section back, this is how your foundation should look. Now you can use this same foundation if your client wants their wefts sewn in, but for this video, we're going to be doing a quick weave. So I'll show you guys my technique for that in a few. For my quick weave services, I like to use a black stocking cap. Now you can get this from your local beauty supply store, but I also buy a big bulk from Amazon because I'm doing this type of service often. So I can link the bulk box in the description below. Okay, y'all, so I almost forgot, before I put this cap on, I'm going to grease my client's scalp. Now, it's a difference between oiling your hair and oiling your scalp, and I do both for my clients just to help them avoid any itching or irritation to their scalp once their hair is sewn or glued in. So I'm going in with another sequence product, but this is from their Dermacare line. So this helps prevent itchy scalp, scabbing, dermatitis. So I do this on all of my clients that are getting weaves, whether they have dermatitis or not. After we take care of scalp care, we're going to go in and put the cap on. So I only do one cap. I've had experience with doing two. I've had experience with putting the paper strips under. And honestly, I feel like just using one gets the job done. Through my experience of trying different techniques, I just found that using one is good enough because it allows the quick weave mode to really adhere to the hair to protect it from the glue. I personally feel that adding a double layer of a cap or putting paper strips just doesn't allow the weave to last as long as it would if you just used one. Now, I know there's a fear of getting the glue stuck to your hair with this service, but that's why they make products to properly remove quick weaves and get the glue out of your hair once it's removed. So if you guys would like a video on how to properly remove your weaves, your quick weaves at that, then let me know in the comment section below. Once my cap is on my client and stretched out good enough, I cut out their ears just because I want the cap to lay flesh against their scalp before I put the quick weave mode on there. If you skip this step, it may be harder to really get the adhesive on there without getting it on the ear, or when you go to cut it, you may have to go back in and apply some more. The last thing you're going to do before going in with the mold is tuck that kitchen in. Everything has to be covered and protected to avoid any uncomfortable feeling, tension for our clients. For this next section, you're going to need your protective shield, mold, or whatever you want to call it, and an applicator brush. So the picture that I showed you guys is the Diamond Bond. I think that's the original one, but I'm currently using the 30-second brand, which is like the glue brand too. I haven't noticed much of a difference in either one. You guys can let me know in the comments if you have, but you know, just try out either one and you let me know what you think about it. When applying this, you really want to take your time and also make sure that you're very strategic about how you're applying it, because once it dries, it's hard and it may be uncomfortable to get whatever you don't want under there from out of there. So as you can see, I'm starting at that area that we parted out for the leave out, and then I'm just going to work my way back until the entire cap is covered. So in some clips, you may see me just pouring it on the cap and then spreading it. In some clips, you may see me putting it on the brush and then spreading it. It really just depends on what you can control in that moment. So because I can't really pour it on the back without it wasting everywhere, when I get to the very nape, I just put it on the brush and then smooth it in. But like if I'm in the middle section where I don't have to really think too much about how I'm applying it, I just pour it on there and then spread it with the brush. After you've applied the entire mold and shield, you're going to put your client under the dryer. So the directions say to leave your client under the dryer for about 15 minutes, but I'm a little extra. I'll leave my client for maybe 20-25 minutes or until I feel like they're dry. So don't be afraid to go in after 15-20 minutes and touch their head and see if they're dry, but do not pull them out unless it's fully dry, because if it's not, it'll still be wet and it may not set the way you need to when it's time to glue your wefts on. So after your cap has completely dried, you're going to go in and cut off the remaining leftover parts of the cap. Now this is the real test. If you go to cut your cap off and stuff is sliding back or lifting, then that's how you know it was not ready and it's not dry. So in that case, because that has happened to me sometimes, I'm not perfect, I just take my blow dryer, hold the part that's lifting up in place, and just put my blow dryer to it until it's dry. For this flip over, we're going to be using my Burmese curly extensions from my hair company. You can purchase this hair at www.humblytouch.co, but I'll also link it in the description below. To create that flip over illusion, the first weft that we're going to glue down is going to go around the perimeter of your client's head. The rhythm of a quick weave goes like this. You're going to measure the section that you're about to put the hair at, cut it, apply the glue to that weft, and then you're going to place it back in place. So as you just saw, I measured the part that's going to go around her perimeter. I'm going in with my shears to cut it, and then you're going to see me apply the glue. And once it's all glued up, we're going to put it back in the place that we just measured. Now when you're applying the glue, try not to squeeze the bottle too much, because you don't want to overdo it, because then you're going to have glue bleed into the hair of the weave, and we don't want to do that because we're going to reuse our extensions. And yes, we reuse our quality extensions. I sell raw hair extensions, so you can get at least a good 2-3 years out of this hair if you maintain it very well, take good care of it. So of course we want to be able to use the hair again, and like I said, to do that you don't want to apply too much glue and mess up the actual hair. I'm going in with my weft that has the glue applied, and don't be afraid to ask your clients for help if you need it. This is a very long weft, so I asked my client to hold the end that I just applied, and I'm going in, rubbing my hand down along the weft to make sure that I'm applying that pressure to make sure that the hair is tacked in place. From here, we're going to continue at the nape of my client's head, and then we're going to work our way all the way to the top. Starting at the bottom, we're going to go straight across, and we're going to do that all the way up. The reason why these wefts are going to go straight across is because we don't want too much of the hair to fall into our client's face. We want this hair to fall directly down so that she can be able to pull it back. We already have that first weft that's going around her perimeter, so that's going to fall back in her face. And then as we go up, we're eventually going to start to make a U shape. And then I'll show you guys how to fill that in once we get closer to the top. I reached the end of my first bundle, and this is how much we have left. Because this isn't enough to go across her entire back side of her head, I'm going to put that to the side, because once I get to the top, that's when I'll need the shorter pieces. And also all of her bundles are one length, so it wouldn't matter when I position that weft or not. Now I'm going to go in with my blow dryer just to make sure everything is set in place and nothing is lifting before I proceed to my next bundle. We're going to continue on with the second bundle, picking up right where we left off. I just wanted to give you guys another angle from the other side. So I'm pretty much measuring from the one side where the weft is to the opposite side, cutting, then gluing and putting it in place. And by the time you're done with your second bundle, this is how it should look. So again, like I said, once you get to the top, it'll start to create a U-shaped section, and I'm going to close it in just a little bit more because I want it to be smaller. Like I mentioned before, we just go straight across instead of going all the way up in a U shape like we did the first one, because we don't want the hair in her face to be too heavy. I probably cut about 2, maybe 3 more wefts into this U shape before I went straight across, just to create a smaller section, because I didn't want it to be too wide, and then you are able to see her tracks when she moves her hair. And to finish it off, we're just going to go straight across from here, and we're going to make sure these wefts are super close together, because again, you do not want your client to be swinging their hair and you can see their wefts. And when I'm applying it, I'm just curving them just a little bit to make sure that we're covering the tracks that were left in that U shape. Now that everything is in, we're going to move to styling. But don't forget to go in with your blow dryer to blow dry the roots of your client's weft before you style, just to make sure that everything is in place and nothing is lifting and moving. As beautiful as this natural curl pattern is, we're choosing to wand curl the hair instead today. So before I do any type of heat styling, I like to blow dry this texture out first. I'm not going to spend too much time on the styling part, but if you guys would like a separate video of showing you how to do wand curls on this texture, please let me know in the comments below. But this texture is pretty much very versatile, very easy to style. You can wear it in its natural state, you can do wand curls, or you can blow dry the hair, press it out straight, and give it some body curls with a regular curling iron.
Let your edge out to some iceberg, you'll be heavy in my mind. Can you get the heck out? I need rest now, got me bummed out. You baby, baby, baby. I've been on my empty mind, shit. I should've came from losing best of me. I worry that I wasted the best of me on you, baby, you don't care.
So guys, that's a wrap for this curly flip over tutorial. I hope you guys learned something or enjoyed just watching it. If you love what you see, please take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything that I've used will be linked in the description below, including my hair extensions. Make sure you guys follow me for more content on my social media too.